Mr. Wayne, you know, you really could be doing more for this city. Your family has a history of philanthropy, but as far as I can tell, you're not doing anything. If I'm elected, I want to change that. Thank you. My God. I'm gonna go pay my respects. Will you wait for me? I'm gonna continue this.
You're listening to The Night Before, a movie podcast. Each episode, we find a unique place in the city and share a drink and our thoughts about the movie we watched the night before. This is Lee, and I am joined, as always, by my husband, Jesse. Okay, hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. We are at Flower Kombucha.
The place where it all started.
Our inaugural podcast was recorded here.
Yeah, the Purple Noon, our very first episode. We're sitting inside today. But our previous one, we were sitting outside.
We were.
That was like the early days of the podcast. Like, we didn't even know what we were doing.
And now we're experts.
Now we have cool...
Because we're eating in the podcast.
I know.
We're finishing up a scone.
I know what you ordered.
And it's really good. It
Okay.
has fresh strawberries. And then we're having a kombucha.
Oh, we're doing hard kombucha right now.
Well, when we came before, they didn't have hard kombucha.
Yeah.
Now they do. And the one we're having is called a beer booch.
Mm-hmm.
And it... What flavors did he say was in it?
I
don't
mean,
remember.
tropical things.
It's really good, though.
Tropical things, yeah. You know, I want to say something else. You might not be thinking this, but Flower Crown Kombucha is right outside of downtown Tampa in this neat little strip area. Not strip, like little road.
There's
Franklin
more
Avenue.
here now, like
Yeah.
to come and do in this row.
But, you know, you go inside. It's really neat. They have a little back patio. There's like this brick wall we're next to. But what I've noticed sitting here, setting up recording and also looking at their little bar, they have ample outlets for plugging in your laptop. Like every table has like an
USB.
access to one, which for us is helpful because a lot of times we run off batteries.
So they give you a discount on certain days if you bring your laptop and do work
Really?
here. Mm-hmm.
So that's, I mean, they're really work forward.
For sure. And it's so like peaceful and such a nice environment. And the people that work here are extremely friendly and nice. So.
And we're in the midst of a hard kombucha happy hour on a Saturday afternoon.
We are.
And it was slow while we were first setting up. So
Now
we're like,
they're
okay, it'll
busy.
be just kind of chill. And now it's packed.
It is.
And we were waiting. We had to wait to order. So anyway, our other plan is after this, we're kind of pre-gaming. Right?
Kombucha pre-gaming.
That's how when you do a night before podcast. Because we're on our way to the 15th annual Gasparilla
Film
International
Festival.
Film Festival.
International Film Fest. Yep.
We're going to see 3 films. We're going to record thoughts maybe during the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
If we find anybody cool, we might try to get them on the podcast. I wanted to do like couple on the scene and just like
We'll talk about that.
interview
still.
people. We'll see. But no, so our next episode will be about the Gasparilla Film
So
Festival.
our goal right now is
At least
we've
3 to 5
scoped it out
films.
is 3 today, 2 tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll see. We're definitely going to see the 3 today. Hopefully going to see the 2 tomorrow as well, but we're going to take it as it comes.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be our first like on assignment.
yeah, so we're excited about
On
that.
location.
We always go. I think we skipped last year.
Yeah, we have all the swag to pass out to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No.
No, we don't.
But yeah, so our next episode will be that. Probably films. It'll be a mix of things, right? Mostly films that you can't really see right now.
Right.
Because they're in the film festival circuit. But
you will be able to.
hopefully, yeah, at one point. So anyway, but it'll also be kind of an episode
Before
just about
we've seen
a
films
film
at
festival.
the film festival that then when later released under a different title.
That's right, the
even.
name change, that Jim Gaffigan movie we saw.
Yeah.
So that's been cool. And then also that Japanese movie that we walked out of during the film festival.
Biggest
Only because
mistake
it was
of my
so late,
life.
though. I think we only walked out because
I
it was so
know.
late. And we had seen so many movies that
know.
day.
Look, we need to save all this for the Gasparilla
Okay.
Film Festival.
Oh, okay, yeah. So let's
Episode.
change gears.
So today we're doing a special. I guess you could say, format for our episode.
Yes.
We're debuting a new format. Not all episodes will take this format, but this is our yay and nay.
Yay and nay
Format.
format. We saw a long movie,
Well, all movies these days are long.
but this was long.
So we saw The Batman,
The Batman.
and instead of just
I'm
jumping
still
in,
confused at why it's called The Batman. I'm
Well,
like,
maybe we'll
I
get
don't,
into that in a minute.
understand that.
so you and I we saw it last night at the movie theater, packed movie theater.
Yeah, that's the first time we've been to a movie, a packed
I
movie
think it was
theater.
sold out. We were in that
I think
Dolby
so, too.
Cinema thing. It was sold out. But because of the way those Dolby Cinemas are set up, you can't really tell it's a sold out theater.
Well, the seats are so big and comfortable. Even the person sitting right next to you, it's not bothersome.
Yeah. Though the guy
Unless they
next to
try to-
me
Unless they try to be your best friend.
kind of pegged me for an old man.
Yeah, he did.
He's like, it's no Michael Keaton Batman, am I right? So I'm like, okay, come on, dude.
You were like,
Maybe he's right.
Maybe
yeah, he
you're
is.
right.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson is no Michael Keaton. But no, so it was really nice being in a packed theater for a change.
mm-hmm.
You know, like with COVID stuff these days. But just in general, seeing even movies we see, let's be honest, it's rare that it's
ever packed.
over. It's rare to ever be halfway full. It's
Because people consume cinema, consume movies differently than they used to pre-pandemic. Not as many people go. More people own streaming services.
Yeah.
They wait for it to come out on streaming.
But it was neat to be just in that moment. I feel like just the big room, everybody
Mm-hmm.
in there. There was a cool energy to the room for the
Yeah,
Batman.
I agree. I would agree with that. For sure.
So we each picked independently, without consulting, 3 yays, 3 things we liked about it,
Mm-hmm.
and 3 nays,
Yes.
3 things we didn't like about it.
Right.
And we're just going to share our yays and nays,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
That's it. Because, truth be told, I wasn't super excited to see it because this is not my genre of movie.
No, but
But
yeah,
you were.
I did want to see it.
You really wanted to see it.
I like the Batman movies, but also, truth be told, we're not really into I'm not even into a lot of the superhero movies, the
No.
Marvel, even the DC. But Batman, which I think we'll get into, Batman, one thing that sets it apart is even kind of debating this with my teenage son, is because he doesn't like the superhero movies either. He's kind of dismissive of them, which, I'm like, wow, raised you right, boy.
Oh my God. Did you just say that like that? Okay.
Raised you right. No,
Oh,
he's like,
Lord,
I don't like
help
those. I don't like those superhero movies.
Okay.
And I go, yeah, I don't either. And I'm like, but Batman's not a superhero. He's a crazed vigilante psychopath.
With superhero quality.
No, he has no.
I know he doesn't.
He has no
but
powers.
He does.
Like, what's a superhero quality you saw in the film?
I mean, he never actually
Secret
gets
Identity?
shot.
He does,
And
but
he's shot at extensively.
but he's wearing that super high tech
Yeah,
Kevlar
but
vest.
His face isn't completely covered. I mean,
All they need is one headshot.
Mm.
That's true. No, but he does. I'm saying he doesn't have superpowers.
He does have.
He's
Yeah.
he's a billionaire who has access to high tech things.
True.
And has used it to fight crime.
Okay.
So because that's what I like a bit more. It's grounded in reality versus superheroes that fly around. Loosely grounded in reality.
I wouldn't call it grounded in reality, but I tried to open my mind, and I did. I found some yays.
Good. I hope so.
I did. And I wasn't as. It didn't seem. Even though I say it was a really long movie.
No, it didn't seem long.
It didn't seem as long as I anticipated it too.
We've seen some 3-hour movies lately. Heck, we've seen some 2-hour movies that have felt long. At least this moves.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to say one thing before we jump in about this movie. Oh, two things. One, the reason I was excited about it, and I know you haven't partaken in the Batman films, right?
No, I mean, I think I have seen one or two, but I don't.
Probably the
haven't,
Michael
like-
Keaton ones.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the Michael Keaton one.
Maybe the Adam West one. That's a
No,
good one from
probably
back in the
not
day.
that
Oh,
one.
man. No, those are the campy, silly ones. But there's like kind of a thing with Batman, right? Where like the new Batman's kind of like a James Bond almost for comic movies. Like who's the
Right.
new Batman?
Right.
You know, Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
A lot of people like Christian Bale.
Right. I
As
know
the
this.
more recent
I know
Batman.
this about the Batman movie.
And I will say, and we'll get into it, and maybe, because you even said, oh my God, because when I said, oh, I have an idea for our Batman movie talk, and you're like, I'm not watching all those Batman movies.
No.
But
I
there
just
is-
don't want to fill my days with that.
So I think what also heightened Batman is the Dark Knight Batman.
Right.
The second one with Christian Bale and
Heath Ledger
Heath Ledger
as the Joker.
as the Joker. That one, that's kind of in a league of its own. This
Right.
whole new stratosphere. That propelled,
Sorry.
there's a 3-legged dog running around this place.
And I'm not laughing at the dog. I'm just laughing at how the dog randomly ran by
the
like
dog's
that.
completely unleashed.
Yeah.
it's a-
Nobody knows who this dog belongs to.
But it gets forgiveness because it has 3 legs. All right. But that movie sort of elevated, I feel, the Batman. It put new expectations for Batman movies.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think that one arguably just had really great standout performances.
Mm-hmm.
Heath Ledger, obviously, it was kind of his last
Final
big film,
movie. Yeah.
which he was spectacular in it.
That he kind of
He was
overly
I
embraced.
don't, have you
the
seen this one?
character. I don't think I've sat through beginning to end, but I think I've
Because
seen
that's the
parts
one
of
to
it.
see.
Okay.
It's intense. It's good.
I probably would see that.
All that. And I think any Batman film sort of gets held up in comparison to that, for better, for worse, or rightly so or wrongly so. And that's one of the things. So there's that. So that's why I was excited to see it. That's why I was pushing to say we got to see this in the theater. The other reason, the director and writer. I always have to pause because you look away and
I'm sorry.
you're
The
staring
director
at
and
people.
writer.
Matt Reeves.
Yes.
I've been a longtime fan of Matt Reeves,
Okay.
only because of one film. He's done these like Planet of the Apes movies and all this other stuff.
Uh-huh.
But early on in his career, he did a film in 1996 with David Schwimmer and Gwyneth Paltrow.
David Schwimmer and Gwyneth Paltrow. Okay, I can't think of what that movie is.
It's called The Pallbearer,
Oh, okay.
and it's where David Schwimmer is asked to read the eulogy for a friend he's never met.
Yes. Cute baby alert.
Yeah, I know. You are so distracted in here with it being crowded. It's
Sorry.
like- you're like, all right.
Yes. He was smiling at me. I had to smile
I know,
back.
but I just give the baby the stare like I'm
Stop.
recording a podcast.
Very cute baby.
I give it the look. And I'm like, podcast, right?
All right.
No,
go
anyway,
on.
I'm sorry, I'm joking. I'm
Pallbearer.
I'm
The
joking.
pallbearer.
We're in this place, right? There's dogs running
I mean,
around.
that's half the charm, right?
Is
You
it?
have to stop and look at babies and dogs that are walking by.
The sacrifices one makes for hard kombucha. Damn dog. I mean, it's much
Okay.
more chill and relaxed than you're making it seem like.
Yes, it is. It is. It is. It's just, I don't know why this is making me laugh so much, but maybe it's the kombucha.
It's not that
Anyway,
hard.
go
kombucha.
ahead. It's not.
Okay. But anyway, Pallbearer, it's a fun movie.
Right.
Maybe we'll see it when we get, maybe I'll pick it when we get to the 1996 movies.
Oh, okay. So
But no, but
90s.
David Schwimmer is asked to read, be a pallbearer and read the eulogy at a At a funeral?
Yes.
For someone that he didn't know. But when they
Oh.
presented it to him, he felt bad. He's like, I don't know this person. I don't remember them. So he goes along with it.
Okay.
And obviously, that's a comedic situation.
Right.
And he reconnects with his high school crush, Gwyneth Paltrow. And that's the movie.
Oh, okay.
But Matt Reeves, who constructed maybe a similar love story in The Batman. No, many years later, now he's doing dark, rainy, moody films with a lot of punching and kicking.
So much punching and kicking.
So anyway, I recommend The Pallbearer for anyone to see if you haven't seen it. It's like one of those quirky late 90s.
David Schwimmer.
One of those quirky late 90s romantic comedies. And it's just good. It's interesting to see where that director's come. Because he also wrote that movie, The Pallbearer, like the Batman.
Gotcha. All right.
Yays and nays. Do you want to start with one of your yays?
Yay.
Yeah. We'll do a yay and then a nay.
Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
You start. So I just talked about The Pallbearer.
So
it can be anything, big or small.
Mine are going to be more superficial than yours.
That's fine.
Because
You're like Robert.
I didn't get deep into this
What
movie.
about Robert Pattinson's jawline?
I'm not going there yet.
Can I pause there? I'm sure his jawline isn't. But we'll get into it.
Yeah, let's not talk about that yet.
Okay.
That'll come up.
Your first yay.
Or go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's just
Is
one of those.
Is that a yay for you?
No, it's sort of like the Superman Clark Kent thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where like no one recognized Superman and Clark Kent with the glasses.
Right.
I'm like, anybody who stood around this version of Bruce Wayne who just like sulks and has sad with his head down all the time and stands around Batman, because this, I can't get it to a yay yet, but this Batman's all over the place, like interacting with people all day.
Oh, yeah.
You're like,
how can you not know?
You and Bruce Wayne act crazy alike.
Like the same person.
And you both have this sort of like smaller jawline thing. But anyway,
I'm going to start with... Oh, well, you know what? I'll skip my first one, and I'm going to go ahead, since you've led into that.
Okay.
One of my yays is Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Look as Bruce Wayne.
Okay. The emo look?
Because it doesn't look like Robert Pattinson.
No,
how
it doesn't.
You're used to looking at him, and I'm not a huge fan of his. Like, I don't swoon over him. I don't think he's like, I'm not like.
No, since Twilight, he's done nothing but.
I mean, he's a good-looking man, but he's not like, but.
Like The Lighthouse, remember that one?
Yeah. His look as Bruce Wayne, I really liked that look on him. I think that was a good look for him. The dark hair and the
bangs in his eyes.
Yeah, and it didn't really like even look like him that much.
No.
So I know that's a superficial yay, but I enjoyed the aesthetic of him as Bruce Wayne.
Well, they took a different take on Bruce Wayne, right?
Yeah.
It's not the charismatic billionaire playboy.
It's the moody.
That like Michael Keaton or Christian Bale played. This is, the moody, dark, recluse.
Recluse, kind of just thinking about social justice and, just kind of burdened by his place in society and
because I think,
whatnot.
And that's one thing I think is, I agree with you, because if you think about it, right, if this really is this like brooding psychopath who puts on a bat costume and goes and fights crime at night, you're not going to be chucking it up the next day at Wayne Enterprises. You're going to be sitting around in your mansion, not talking to a soul.
Dark areas.
Yeah, he has this little like bat cave.
Contemplating the justice of the world,
That's a good yay. But I don't think it's a superficial thing. I think it's.
Yeah, I think his look really went well with his look as Bruce Wayne. I like that. I was surprised by that. So that's my yay. I skipped my actual first yay that I wrote and went to that because you brought him up
Yeah, since
his
we're there,
jawline up.
I'll go to my second yay.
Oh,
as
that's
well.
his jawline?
No, but it's back on the different take. I wrote different take, and for that I had like kind of 2 points for the different take on the Batman Bruce Wayne thing.
Mm-hmm.
I put one. I really enjoyed the detective work.
Of him.
Yeah, because normally Batman just like swoops in, crime's happening, Batman appears, he punches some people.
So you could see the
and he flies out.
backstory of how he's figuring out
Here he's going to. It's like an episode of like
Law and Order.
Law and Order. Yeah, he's going
With
to
Batman.
He's going to crime scenes. He's investigating with the cops. He's looking at evidence.
He's getting inside info.
Yeah. He's interrogating people, but he just carries more weight because he is the Batman.
The Batman.
Yeah, the Batman. And so that was my other piece. So I put different take on that whole, just the whole thing. Like it seemed a bit more about detective work, and then I put buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
Because it's basically
It is. Batman and the cop
and the lieutenant.
are like buddies.
They're buddies. They're chatting, and he's always had a relationship with Batman, with Commissioner.
It's kind of like his Robin.
Yeah, but even in the movies and comics,
I bet.
Commissioner Gordon, who that lieutenant will eventually become, he's always had a relationship with him. Like even back in the Adam West days, right? They call Batman up on the bat phone or whatever.
Right.
But this one, it had that whatever lethal weapon
Yeah.
type, like buddy cop, straight guy, crazy guy type approach. Even much so, one of the scenes, what made me think of this yay nay idea while we were watching it was there's that scene where all the cops want to like take Batman, arrest him or whatever.
Yeah.
And the lieutenant's like, give me a minute to talk to him. And they're just staring at each other's
in the
face.
room. Nobody can hear them.
Yeah, but they're acting like they're mad and angry at each other.
Yeah.
Like making mean faces, but they're whispering like their plan to one
That
another.
was definitely
It's like a buddy cop movie. For sure.
Scene, for sure.
Yeah, and the
And
penguin
he's
even
saying, like, take the key and run out the back
like,
door,
"You're
and then
gonna-"
he just punches him out.
He's like, you're going to have to punch me in the face. He's like, take the key.
Yeah.
So it's hilarious. And then later on, the penguin, even with the unrecognizable Colin Farrell, the penguin even says, what is this? What, bad cop and batshit crazy cop?
Yeah.
When they're
Batshit.
talking to him.
Yeah.
So that was one of my yays, though it also was a bit silly for a movie that's so super serious.
Yeah.
I did like just that take that it wasn't just Batman using all his gadgets and things, that it was really just him being a detective.
Yeah.
Because Batman's supposed to be like a detective more than anything.
Okay.
So that was that.
I liked that made it slightly more lighthearted. I mean, slightly.
The buddy cop stuff?
Slightly. Not a lot.
For moments.
For moments.
All right, what's your first
Oh.
nay?
My first nay?
Yeah,
we're going
let's
to
go
nays
yay, nay,
now.
yay,
Oh,
nay.
okay. Well, this to me is obvious. You know what this is going to be. The over-the-top violence. It's just like, I remember you said, I don't think it's going to be like hitting and stuff all the time. The constant violence, like I think that's why I've had a headache for like 24 hours. I'm not kidding. That the constant violence, the shooting, the punching, the blood, I historically am not, and I know a Batman movie is going to have violence, but the constant.
This was pretty violent.
It's just constant fighting and stuff.
I mean, a
and
lot of
to
folks-
me, that loses me. Like I get in stimulus overload in a movie, and I just want to like shut my eyes and shut down, which I actually had to do like 2 or 3 times throughout the movie because that was a nay for me. Like
I
it
feel
was
that.
too much.
Well, I will say, one, it is a violent movie. A lot of folks, I think, were disappointed that it didn't get an R rating.
It's not R-rated.
Yeah, it's PG-13.
Okay.
Right? I think the other part is we did see it in those Dolby cinemas.
Oh,
And it is.
and it like vibrates
It
every
is
time
loud.
the shooting, and vibrates with the motorcycle and the car and the. Now I like the Dolby cinemas.
Me too. You
But
see how
it's-
black that screen is?
Stop. But for me, it was too much to the point that it was harder for me to enjoy. Like when there's so much violence that it distracts from the storyline in general.
Nah,
There's violence for the sake of violence.
I agree.
at
I
some
think there's a
point.
lot of fighting. I mean, you're right. You have to have that in the movie. I will say, I didn't get. A lot of times I get bored with fight scenes too. There's only one fight scene I got bored with. But I will say, at least I was kind of into it. A lot of times, yeah, and especially those Marvel superhero movies, I'll just sort of close my eyes, zone out, fall asleep.
Yeah.
When they're like just
Fighting to fight.
fighting each other and they're just knocking over buildings
Yeah.
all over town. This doesn't have that, at least. This is just hand-to-hand combat, kicking and
Yeah.
punching, but a lot of it.
A lot of it. So much.
But I think it has to have that, too, because there's also such long stretches of just talking and staring and brooding and moping. It's very moody. It's a very moody film.
Yeah. But
So to keep the general audience engaged, you got to have something every...
and that's what disappoints me,
Thanks.
that the general audience needs that much violence
Yeah.
to keep
No, I
staying
think this would have been a
engaged.
great
I think in
movie.
general, that's the most disappointing thing about movies to me,
Mm-hmm.
is that the general population needs to see violence every whatever the statistic is, like 7 to 8 minutes in a movie, in order to stay engaged, or a certain movies,
Yeah.
or certain type of audience, or whatever.
No, I would have
And
loved
to
it.
me, that's too much.
I would have loved it if it was, take out some of the fight stuff and just make it what it also was trying to be was this, like, Godfather mobster movie
It was definitely
as
that.
well, with the Batman character in it. You know, so
Yeah.
it was doing a lot of things. It was like a Batman movie. It was a buddy cop movie. It was a mobster movie.
It was.
Like a Law and Order type movie.
Mm-hmm.
So since we're kind of complimenting our yays and nays, I have one nay I did not like at all.
Okay.
The car chase scene.
Oh, me either.
I hate, at this point, car chase scenes, especially in a Batman
hated
movie.
the car chase scenes. Like, and then by the time we got to the car chase scene, there was already been so much
But
shooting and
that's- yeah.
violence that I was like, oh my god.
Well, they intercepted a drug drop-off money exchange, but I get that. And there's a shootout there. You got to have that. And you also, it's a Batman movie, you got to have a Bat car. Batmobile.
And but
But
we
if-
had the Bat cycle. What's it called?
The motorcycle.
The Bat motorcycle.
The Bat cycle or something, but they just call it. Yeah, they didn't call it that, and that's what was nice about this movie. They didn't call any of that Bat stuff. Not
Yeah,
the
no,
Batmobile.
no.
And his Batman car was kind of just a souped-up car with a fancy engine and
Yeah.
all this stuff, and armor. But no, when it hit the road and they're flying, and he's chasing the penguin. It was like, and again, it wasn't like a comical Danny DeVito penguin. It was a mob boss
Right.
type penguin, which I thought was appropriate. But I'm watching it, and I'm like, well, of course, someone's going to drive through all of
Flames.
not the flame. Well, that comes later. All the orange barricade barrels that you see, like all those pop up. Of course, the semi-truck is going to spill over. Of course, there's going to be a big explosion. Of course, Batman's going to ride through a ramp and come through the flames. So I felt that whole scene could have just cut out.
Yeah.
That bores me. And plus, we already saw the best car style chase scene in cinema this year already.
What?
Licorice Pizza.
True.
Right?
True. Can't top that. That was the best car race scene, yes.
The
Or
truck
car-
out of gas going down
Going
that winding
backwards.
hill backwards.
Yeah.
Like it that's the best thing.
Yeah.
Have Batman run out of gas and he has to drive it backwards down a
No,
hill.
Then you're a hero.
Well, then I'm captivated.
Yeah.
But
I agree. That was just cliche.
yeah, it was very cliche by,
Mhm.
so. But yeah, so that was my thing. I put car chase scene, and I put licorice pizza.
No. I do like that. Yeah, that was, if I had to, not going into licorice pizza, because it wasn't one of my favorite movies, but that was one of my favorite parts of that
Right?
movie.
Oh,
Cars.
I think that was top-notch
And
filmmaking.
to hear her talk about filming that scene,
Mhm.
like actually driving
Yeah.
the truck, is intriguing.
It was like, so when I was watching it, I was like, you don't need all these CG explosions. You just
Yeah.
need the tension of that. And I know it's two different contexts, but a car scene's a car scene.
Yeah, I agree. So
All right, your second
another
yay.
yay. So I mean, there's not much to say except yay, Zoe Kravitz.
Okay. Okay.
In general,
Okay.
she's
She's kind of like
sexy.
the thing right now.
She's has the perfect look for what she was playing.
The Catwoman.
Yeah, I you call her Catwoman. I mean, I guess.
Well,
yeah.
she is Catwoman.
Yeah,
but
I
yeah, they
know,
call her the
but-
cat. She's like a cat burglar.
Anyway,
She has a lot of cats in her apartment. She drinks milk.
she does.
Who drinks milk in their adult life?
My sister.
Sorry.
But I thought she played the role really well. I really liked her in general. Like she's appealing. Like we're like, oh, Robert Pattinson. No, like I think she's more appealing to look at to me than anyone in the show. Like I just liked her addition. I just liked her in the movie. She to me was the best part of the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
She was most intriguing to me, and how she played her role. And there were things that is actually one of my nays that I'll talk about about her character that I didn't agree with. But her as an actress in the role and her look and how she fit that character, I liked.
Okay. Okay. No, I liked her. I have something connected to her that I thought was a nay, but we'll get
And
back
we're
to
on
that.
yays.
I know, so we'll get back to that. I will say, I've kind of talked about this a little bit already, but from one of my other yays, I just wrote more broadly, again, it's grounded in reality for this, right?
Yes.
Because like his bat suit, yeah, it has this fancy Kevlar bulletproof stuff, right? But he's wearing like army combat boots. Like
Right,
even when
normal shoes.
even when he jumps out of a building and does the typical like Batman gliding, it's just one of those sort of zipped up flying squirrel type suits that you see skydivers use.
Yeah.
So he's not using all these fancy things that are not possible. And I love that it's just it's a world where like Batman truly walks among people.
He's one of the people.
They
Yeah.
see him and they're just like, oh yeah, that's Batman. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Even when he's
part of it. He's part of society.
When he walks and shows up at the police scenes, they're not happy with him there. He's known as a mass vigilante.
Yeah.
But it's also, you also see the awkwardness of a person dressed like that in public.
Right. Like, what is he doing?
Where
Kind of
typical
like us.
movies,
Right
us
now.
in an area with a microphone. But in the typical movies, right, he swoops in, he fights, he swoops out. Here, he's walking amongst normal people. He's at the nightclub. He's at the crime scenes. And it looks ridiculous that this man is dressed up like this. But at the same time, you feel that tension and awkwardness amongst the people that, like, this is a little weird,
Yeah.
right? And so I like that. Like, it's always playing on the line of, like, because, it hints a little bit later in the movie, right, with the Riddler and Arkham Asylum and the Joker, like, mental stability and just your thinking and emotional trauma. How even the Catwoman's dealing with it. That's why they do all these things. And it toys around with that idea that he is
somewhat mentally unstable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And vengeance is his take on vengeance is not healthy and all this stuff. So that's what I put. So I put but then at the same time I put it's a tough thing to do in the movie, and I think for the most part it does it well. If you take like one little step back, it also teeters on just being crazy and ridiculous.
Yeah, if
This
you
whole
take a
thing.
step back out of it, you have to get yourself engrossed in it, and to order to think that this is ridiculous.
But it toes the line really close of just, like a person, could people in society accept a crazy person like this if they were doing good?
If they were doing
And things were so
helping.
dire,
right,
and this, Gotham City's like a terrible
would you turn
crime-ridden
to a
place.
person that borders on
Yeah.
like mentally unstable
Yeah.
if they were
And I think that was part of the movie. The Riddler was saying, right, that the Riddler's take was they're kind of on the same page, and Batman's like, we're nothing alike.
right?
Right? And it's like, well, no, maybe you're more than you think.
Maybe we are. Yeah.
So I put that as a yay. Just, it was the closest thing to something like that could be of trying to ground it in some sort of real world
Yeah.
thing.
I get that. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
Round 2 of nays.
Round 2 of nays. Okay. Well, I don't know if this is one of your nays, but I know this is something you've been making fun of. And it's definitely a nay for me. It kind of annoyed me throughout the movie.
Whoa.
Well, his Batman voice. But along with that, not just that, I know Batman is supposed to talk like that.
Batman has
get
to have
that.
his Batman
I
voice.
know.
Christian Bale's is 10 times worse.
His Batman voice and just the broody, Nirvana-esque, it's a word I made up,
Yeah.
mood.
Well, I don't think you made it up, but yeah.
Nirvana-esque?
I'm sure people have said it.
Oh, okay. Mood that he carries where he is kind of like a big baby. Like, but he's tough at the same time. Like, he doesn't, but at the same time you're like, okay, Batman, don't be so sensitive, That was a little bit annoying. And when they played the Nirvana song, I almost wanted to get up and leave.
Wow.
Like, it bothered me.
The first time or the second time?
The first time it came on.
The first time?
I was like, oh, are we, like, what? Under the bridge? Like, come on. Come on. Like, are we in the 1990s, first of all? And secondly, like, is this where we're going, like, grunge, broody, moody? Yes,
Yeah, well, it
that's
set
the
the
mood.
tone, yeah.
Yes, that's the mood. And
Yeah.
to me, it was over the top.
Yeah.
Over the top, broody.
Okay.
And his voice was just like the icing on the cake for that. I'm just
Yeah.
like, just, there was never a moment that he was not serious, unhappy, or disturbed.
Well, I will say, it did capture well. It might have been annoying, but I think it was the reality.
And maybe that's why I don't like Batman movies.
Batman-
I don't know.
Batman
I know
and-
he's supposed to be that way.
Well, I think Batman and Bruce Wayne, neither one of them should be the type of person that they're enjoyable to be around. It almost should just be uncomfortable and bothersome to be around them, whether they're Batman or Bruce Wayne. And yeah, this movie captured that perfectly. Like, even Alfred, right? Cousin Alfred in the house, like, you can tell them they don't,
Yeah.
it's like, but he was definitely over the top emo with the bangs in his eyes.
Oh,
and,
so emo.
and all
Like,
that.
so emo.
But maybe with his, if you think about it, right? His parents died, according to the movie, in 2000. So the 90s were his formative music years.
True.
Right? Because he was even listening to the Nirvana song Something in the Way. Even though it was playing in the movie, he was listening to it in his bat cave work zone because he turned the volume knob down to hear the news, and the music went down
I
too.
was thinking, like, can a good band or singer not come up with a new song for Batman? like for the Batman movie. Like,
Well, they'll say,
are we?
the
Not
90s
that I don't like Nirvana.
the
I
90s were
like
his year.
Nirvana. It just was like, of course. Like, really, this
Right.
is a new movie in
Right.
2022.
Well, I think it captures.
You liked that about
I think it captures thinking about my movie partner next to me. Michael Keaton was sure better. It does trigger a nostalgia piece for people of a certain age, for sure.
Yeah.
So I will say this. For a nay, I wrote all the music / score
Was
as
a
a nay.
I agree.
There's an asterisk next to that, and we'll get to that
Oh,
in a
okay.
minute. But I did write for one of my nays. Two things bothered me constantly. One, it's been in other movies, but it felt like one certain movie, that sort of constant violin, like the high-pitched violin. It's supposed to be suspenseful and all that. It did it constantly.
Yeah, I know what you're
Or it did the very low, brooding notes, like the 2 or 3 notes that almost sound like Something in the Way every time. But it's not. It's different, but it sounds like it. And there was just this general kind of ominous score whenever Batman would show up and do his, come out of the shadows. It was always kind of neat, right? He like emerged from the shadows. But it played this same sort of brooding sound, which I put in my head watching it. I called the Batman theme. I mean, it's not the Batman theme.
Right,
It's not that. It's not the Adam West Batman song. It's just this super low 2 or 3 notes, like boom, 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 And it was like, oh, here we go again. And it was the same musical notes over and over. And I'm all for motifs and bringing things back and a melody for a certain character.
Yeah.
But that was too much.
Yeah, the score is not good.
So I put all music and score. But then we'll jump to yays.
What's your asterisk?
I'll jump with a yay since they're
okay.
connected. But I did put the opening.
This your third yay?
Third yay. The opening music segment was a yay, though.
What was the opening? I don't
Two
remember.
things.
Okay.
It opens up with that scene of like the Riddler spying on the house.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just doing this like weird, quirky.
I did like how the movie opened.
This weird, quirky, minstrel, circusy type music.
Oh,
if I
I know what
remember.
you're going to say, and that's one of my
What?
yays.
So that music there, I'm like, oh, this is
Not that, but yeah.
this is fun and lighthearted and different. And then then it does cue the Nirvana Something in the Way the first time, and it almost does like a full-blown music video. It's Robert Pattinson doing the voiceover as
that's not what I put.
I know.
Go ahead.
As Bruce Wayne about how he's mad and crazy and been doing this for 2 years.
Right.
And I'm glad they used an old song. I think the Nirvana placement of this was super appropriate at the beginning. It did.
Oh, so the Nirvana song was your yay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But and the little weird quirky song at the beginning.
Okay.
Because it does that when he's spying on him.
Yeah.
Then it cuts to Robert Pattinson driving around on his motorcycle.
The quirky song is the Ave Maria song.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
That's
what
not
it
a
is.
quirky song.
You know what I mean? I was like, for a Batman movie
Okay,
is what I mean.
okay.
For a Batman movie.
Okay.
Yeah, for Batman. That's what I mean. You're right. For Batman, I'm like, this is weird.
Okay.
It sets a weird tone. And then they cut to introducing Batman and Robert Pattinson and the Nirvana. And you're right. It's like, here's who we got. An angsty, upset guy.
Angsty, broody, 90s grunge guy.
Yeah, because that's when he was a teenager.
Yeah. And he hasn't grown since. No, he has.
But for a song that's a really good song that doesn't really get played much, and for Nirvana songs that don't get put in movies.
True.
That was, and for something that was never a single or a main track, I thought that was really, really good. Do I think that needs to be the song that the whole movie is
throughout
built around?
the entire movie? Yeah.
No. Like, it's when it shows up at the end again, I'm like, what is this?
When
Like,
I think
why
of
is the
that
song
song, I
back?
think of drug addicts underneath the bridge.
Well, that's
What
yeah,
the
yeah,
song's
yeah, I know.
about,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
The depths of the underworld.
Yeah, yeah,
Which I get that. That's a lot of the movie is what we're talking about. The kind of depths of these political figures and stuff
yeah.
and what they're doing kind of underground. And
Yeah, yeah.
so I get the connection there, but at the same time, like every
No, that's what I
song
mean.
throughout the movie is that song.
But I'm saying for the opening, that's was spot on. Like I was like, whoa, this is a little different for a Batman movie. And it just stayed with that idea for 3 hours though. But it was a yay. And then that's when it became a nay. It started with the yay, and then it became a nay because the rest of the movie.
So are we on my third yay now?
Yep, your third yay.
Okay, so I'm going to piggyback on that.
Oh man, we're doing a lot of piggybacks.
And say that my third yay was the quirky, I'm using quotes with my fingers, the quirky song, the Ave Maria.
Yeah, and when I meant quirky, I just
theme
meant
song,
because it was
to me,
for a Batman
that was one of
movie.
the best parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Because
you're
it
sitting
made
there.
it different.
Yeah.
It made it intriguing at the beginning.
You're like,
I was
what?
like,
Ooh, this is gonna be better than I
This
thought.
is going to be better. And then
Yeah.
they use it throughout the movie in different parts,
They
not
do,
just
yeah.
at the beginning.
But it's most noticeable at the beginning.
And I really liked that kind of choice.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Ave Maria theme, and that was that pulled me in more than I expected. So that was a yay for me.
Good. And then let's go to your last nay. Because I already did my yay.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
My last nay. Okay, so there was big media stuff about. Hopefully, I'm not confusing this with another movie, but about her being a lesbian in this movie.
Oh, Kravis.
Yeah.
Yeah, Catwoman.
That she chose to be a lesbian in this movie. She made that say she wanted that to be as part of this movie. But I liked that part of it. That was intriguing to me. But they still had. So, what was the point of her constantly sexually coming on to Batman and then him constantly being in love with her? What is the point of that storyline? So, commit to the lesbian. Like, I'm a lesbian in love with this girl who they died.
Who got killed, yeah.
Got killed.
The mob killed, yeah.
Then commit to that part of the storyline. Like, the fact that there was love confusion in there was annoying to me. And there was there was no.
Sexuality's fluid these days.
I know that. Sexuality is fluid anyway, not just these days.
It was a joke, yeah, I know.
I understand that. However, I didn't, there was no purpose to her and his sexual connection.
It's that brooding, mysterious nature of the Batman.
But there was none, and I don't think hers was because she was actually attracted to him or in love with him. And I don't think his was either. It was unbelievable almost. Because it wasn't, that part of it seemed lacking and confusing.
Well, it does come
and
off
to
busy.
me, if she wanted Catwoman to be a lesbian, then why would she go with that other part?
Yeah.
That annoyed me about the movie. I didn't like that at all.
Well, you know what my last nay was?
What?
I wrote the bat and the cat and the kiss.
Yeah,
That's
it was
my
a
nay.
good kiss.
No, that's a nay.
Oh, that's a nay.
The bat,
But
the
what's
cat.
the point in it?
No, well, agreed. I felt it was a little weird. One, I can understand these are two lost, broken people, right?
Does that mean they have to become sexually entwined?
No, but they can become connected by the end of the film. And they can even by the end of the film, even though this whole thing
can
takes...
we not show a woman becoming connected
agree.
to a
No,
man, not
no,
sexually? I'm just
before I
saying,
interrupt-
like,
no,
it was
before I-
annoying.
It's one of my nays.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I
It's
know.
one of my nays.
Yeah,
I agree
yeah,
with you.
yeah.
But I'm saying by the end of the film, I can see two people that aren't romantically entangled, but now have grown affectionate or fond of one another because of the connection of the last 6 or 7 days that they just endured together. Because that's what this movie took
Yeah,
place over 6
sorry.
days
Yeah, I know.
or 7 days.
It felt like 6 days.
That's funny.
I'm just kidding.
So I can see it by the end, and they have their little scene of like, let's just leave this. She's like, let's just leave this place. And Batman's like, I ain't going anywhere. This place can get better.
Yeah,
Right?
there you go. You had to get a little more breathy.
I believe in positive change. Right? And she's like, let's go. Let's just go away. And he's like, no. And they go their different ways and cue Nirvana something in the way again. Right?
Under the bridge.
Because he's pouting again. So I could see that as just for an arc. Do I agree with it? No. And do I understand? I was a bit confused too, because very early on in the movie, Catwoman goes and kisses Batman. She does.
Yes, I know.
And when I saw that, I'm like, that's a nay.
Yeah, that's a nay. Why?
Um,
So she's distraught over her girlfriend that is killed.
So
However, she jumps to
Yeah.
kissing Batman. That doesn't even make sense to me.
Well, yeah, they hint at it because it shows her, and again, you could say it's a weak female stereotype they're putting in, and the male trope early on before the kiss, or before that, you can tell she's weak and vulnerable, and they can't even make, it's not a joke, but they do the bit of like, you don't even care if I get hurt or not, she's saying to Batman. And he looks at her like intently and kind of stares at her as if he's thinking and processing that, right? And he's just checking to make sure her contact lens is in correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, you look good. Never mind. You know, they'll never notice that you have these video camera
yeah,
contacts.
she is portrayed as weak and stuff.
And so, but
because
then he's
she
coming
gets-
off as the detached male.
she gets into these relationships with these men just
Yeah.
to, with these like powerful men.
And so you could,
Or-
and when I was thinking about it, I was like, I'm not going to get too deep into this either. Like get too upset about it. It's just confusing. Like it just doesn't make sense.
It does make
But my
sense.
thoughts like, okay, either one, you never quite know her angle because Catwoman is supposed to always kind of have a different angle. Like, is she good? Is she bad?
Right.
She operates in the gray area where
Is
Batman.
she manipulating him like she was
Yeah.
manipulating these
where
like,
Batman's
rich,
very black and
powerful-
white. You know,
Mhm.
Batman's, I'm not going to kill. She's like, I don't care. I'll kill people if they deserve it, right?
Right.
So I was thinking, oh, maybe there's some other angle there. And then also I'm like, well, unless they're going to change this dynamic, there's always the ongoing sexual tension between Batman and the Catwoman.
Mhm.
I just wish it was played more as sexual tension versus coming off more as longing and, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
I wish it was,
Just in the moment, sexual tension rather
Or
than
just
like,
there is
a
something
longing
here.
for someone to, yeah.
where this didn't capture that. But again, I think there's supposed to be that Catwoman Batman thing. It's
Yeah.
always been from the Adam West days, Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's always Halle Berry.
Yeah, but I
when
felt
her-
like Catwoman was trying to do something different in this one.
That's what I
but
mean.
then
I
kind
would
of
have
went
at
back to
least
the
been.
old.
I would have at least been, and I felt that kiss was way, way, way too early in the movie. Now, if there was some little thing at the
too.
beginning of it, you can interpret it as different things.
Yeah, I just
So that was
didn't
my
even-
feeling, like it, and that's what I meant by the kiss. It didn't have to be in the middle of the movie. I
Yeah.
felt it was way too soon.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
agree.
So
I
real
agree.
quick, always goes a bit longer
I
than we
like that.
think.
Yeah.
That's our yays and nays. So I guess we just end real quick. I think I kind of know where you fall. In general, the Batman, yay or nay?
Now, am I saying yay or nay? Like I liked it or didn't like it, or should people see it or not see it? What am I yay and
I think
nay?
it's just you.
I'm gonna go with nay.
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, I enjoyed going and seeing it with you.
Oh, thanks.
If I could say like, did I enjoy that movie? No, except for the yays I talked about.
Hmm.
You, yay or nay?
It's a tough one. I think ultimately, like, if it was just like, if I have to be yes or no, yay or nay, then I'm like,
Honest.
okay, it's like a small lowercase yay.
It's a lowercase yay.
Yeah.
On a big line and it's small.
You just write it
written.
really. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yay.
I had bigger
It's
expectations
like a little
for it.
text. Yay.
I thought it would be better than it was. Would be. I was hoping it would be more different than it was, even though it was pretty darn different.
I expected it to be more different because you said it was going to be more
I
different.
thought-
Not
I
as
thought
much
it was.
violence, more artistic. Although there were artistic aspects to it, for
I
sure.
thought,
But
though it still might be, as judging by the person who sat next to me in the theater, not that I wanted it to be alienating to people. I just thought, I was hoping like, oh, this will be the Batman movie that people are like, yeah, I didn't really like that one. Like, a little too artsy-fartsy for me. I was hoping it would be the bold Batman to say, hey, we're going to break some of the norms
Right,
and be
break
a
the
little more
mold.
low-key. But instead, I felt it came off as, it felt like it would have worked better. It felt more like an HBO 6-episode series than it felt like a movie that was trying to do something different with
with all the mob, the mob
franchise.
line, all
Meaning,
that.
like, what just felt like it, yeah, it had some grand moments, but it just felt like it was kind of almost what is forgettable. That's a forgettable film. And it, even though I think Kravitz was good, Pattinson was good,
Yeah, Pattinson was
Farrell
good.
was good. I think everybody in it was good. I don't think there were any good. I don't think there were any great performances either.
No. Oh, no.
So there was nothing. That's the thing. We started with Dark Knight. Like, you got to watch Dark Knight just for Heath Ledger's performance.
Yeah, it was terrible, but it wasn't great.
Yeah. So it's like a
No.
lowercase yay.
Lowercase yay.
Yeah. Not going to be wanting to see it again anytime.
I mean, mine was a lowercase nay, and yours is a
Okay,
lowercase yay.
right there.
I wouldn't make it a capital nay.
Capital name. All right, we got to get going.
We got to get going to the
our
film
Gasparilla
festival.
Film Festival first movie starts in 45 minutes.
Our
We will remind
kombuchas are
people
gone.
to do their homework real quick.
Okay.
We're watching 90s movies this month.
Oh, right.
Which 2 movies have we already watched?
We have watched Dances with Wolves and Young Guns 2.
And we still need to watch Pretty Woman, Awakenings, and Joe versus the Volcano.
Yes.
So by the end of this month, we're going to do our 1990s episode where we rank those 5.
1990.
1990.
Not the
Single.
90s.
Just that year.
Just that year. Okay.
You know what, on a side note too?
Yes.
I mean, I know Kurt Cobain's dead, so that probably changed it. It's funny seeing how far we've come, where Kurt Cobain would not let a Nirvana song into the
Never.
Singles movie. They wanted to put "Come as You
He
Are"
would
in
never
Singles.
have let it in a
No,
Batman,
or was it?
the
Yeah,
Batman
Singles.
movie.
And they wouldn't let him. And
Who
now
has control of his music now? Courtney Love?
Courtney Love
His
has
daughter?
No, and I know they've sold the rights, but that's a whole nother thing.
All right.
But now it's in the Batman. It's hilarious to me.
He would hate that.
I think so. All right.
Okay.
All right. Let's cheers.
Cheers.
And bye.
Bye.